visited both Tasmania and Great Britain a few years ago, we found ourselves comparing the many similarities between these two wonderful islands, but also noted some very clear differences. Though they are located at opposite ends of the Earth, they seem of similar size and climate. Tasmania is in fact about a third the size of Britain, though not even as big as England, and 3 times the size of Wales. Tasmania averages about 3 degrees warmer than that part of the world. We think of Tasmania being close to Antarctica, but in the northern hemisphere its distance from the pole would have it closer to the French Riviera. Despite its latitude, Tasmania is only slightly warmer because it gets weather from its cold Southern Ocean rather than the North Atlantic's warm Gulf Stream. Average rainfall is similar, though not as evenly spread in Tasmania as it is in the UK. Both temperature and rainfall tend to see more variation and extremes in the southern island. The government, language and society in Tasmania is of course very similar to Great Britain, a reflection of settlement in the 18th and 19th century, but sadly an unfortunate story for earlier Aboriginal cultures. We think of England as having a long history, yet Tasmania appears to have had a much longer period of continuous habitation. One thing in common is that they were not always islands. Both Britain and Tasmania were connected to their neighbouring continent during the Ice Age over 13,000 years ago, and a much lower sea level at that time. Remains found in Tasmanian caves show that people were living there right through the last Ice Age, for at least 30,000 years, while British archaeology suggests there was no one home there in that time. In fact, most of the British Isles were covered by ice sheets or glaciers, much like Antarctica is today. Our Apple Isle can rightly claim to have an older culture than the UK, though sadly much of its ancient history is now lost. Looking at the two islands today, they do have lots in common, but also vast differences. Can you pick which is which?